What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2017 movie Justice League. Fueled by his restored faith in humanity and inspired by Superman's selfless act, Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince assemble a team of metahumans consisting of Barry Allen, Arthur Curry, and Victor Stone to face the catastrophic threat of Steppenwolf and the Parademons, who are on the hunt for the three mother boxes on Earth. So this version of the Justice League movie is pretty bad. I really don't like this movie. Actually, I think it's very bad. The writing is so terrible, and the character work is awful in this movie. The CGI is hideous to look at in here, especially on Henry Cavill when they CGI'd out his mustache. It just looks awful and everything, but all of the CGI throughout the whole movie looks terrible. And Cyborg and the Flash are very underdeveloped in this movie. They barely have any character development and everything. We're introduced to them and barely know anything about them. They give us as thin characterizations on them as possible, especially Cyborg and everything. Joss Whedon was very racist and wanted to really reduce Cyborg's role and everything, from what I understand and everything. But and Warner Brothers also discriminated against Ray Fisher as well, from what I understand. There was a lot of bad things going on behind the scenes of this movie too and everything. When Zack Snyder's daughter died and he left the project and everything, the studio brought in Joss Whedon to rework it, and they totally ruined the movie and everything. And that's why this movie is so bad. The humor is very cringy in this movie. There's a lot of really cringy jokes. Most of them come from Barry Allen, but there are some cringy ones from Arthur Curry as well. It doesn't fit in with any of the movies that came before it at all. It does not fit in with Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, which this is supposed to be a sequel to both of those. And it does not fit in with the style and tone of Zack Snyder's movie at all. And the editing is awful, and the studio interfering really hurts the movie really, really bad. The reshoot scenes are very obvious, as Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder have totally different styles of directing and writing and everything. So the reshoot scenes are very obvious which ones are reshoots and which ones aren't, and everything. And they add nothing to, and it adds nothing to the story. It just makes the story work, or makes the movie worse and everything. Amber Heard is one of the worst castings in the history of comic book movies. I absolutely hate her in all of the DCEU movies. I think she's a horrible actress and a horrible person and everything. But person, life aside, keep that aside and everything, just focusing on her acting in this movie. She's only in here for just a few minutes, but her acting is so awful. I don't get what Zack Snyder saw in her and why he wanted to cast her, but she is just absolutely horrible in the little brief scene that we do get of her and everything. But I think she was one of the worst things about this movie. All the things that really brought the DCEU down started with this movie and everything. They already had problems with Suicide Squad and Batman vs. Superman and stuff, but this one is the one that really started to sink the DCEU ship and everything. As far as positives go, the one scene when they first get there in the third act and they're all working together as a team for the first time and everything, and you see that little brief smile from Wonder Woman and stuff, that's a positive for me, just because Wonder Woman's smile is so pretty And then I'll say the performances of the cast are fine. I think everybody does a good enough job with what they're having to go through making this movie and everything. I think everybody did the best that they could and everything. And I will say that they tried to make Superman more lighthearted in this movie and everything, and Henry Cavill was playing a more lighthearted Superman, and I thought he did a great job. I think that I will give him a little bit of praise because his performance in this version is so different than the Snyderverse version and everything, and I think he did a good job in both versions and everything, although I think that it was weird seeing a more lighthearted Superman after 2 movies where he's not very lighthearted and everything. So I do get the criticisms for sure. And also Danny Elfman's score is horrible in this movie. Like, he obviously did not understand what he was doing with this movie, adding in Batman 89 themes and Superman 78 themes into the movie instead of using the Man of Steel and Batman scores used from Batman vs. Superman. I never understood that at all and everything, and I don't really think the score is all that good and everything. It's very weak compared to the scores of the other DCEU movies and everything. So all in all, I think this is just a horrible movie, and it had so much potential in it when it came out and everything. I tried to love it and everything, but after seeing the Zack Snyder version of Justice League, I never wanted to watch this movie again, and watching it again this time for this review made me realize that is going to be the very last time I ever watch it. So if I ever go through the DCEU again, it will not be with this piece of crap, because this movie is an absolute train wreck, and it is not even worth watching and everything. If you want to watch Justice League, just stick with Zack Snyder's version. And I'm not even one of those Snyder fanboys that is so up his butt and everything. I like Zack Snyder, but I don't think he's a god or anything like that. I don't think he's like one of the best directors of all time, like a lot of his fans do and stuff. But I do like him and admire him, and I think that what they did with his movie really sucks, and I'm glad that we did finally get to see his version, and I can't wait to talk about that one when I get to it and everything. So all in all, this movie, I'm gonna go as far to say that I give it a 0 out of 10. It is a horrible, horrible movie, and it's not worth even really watching or anything. It's bad and everything, so I'd give it a 0 out of 10. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of this movie, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.
Yeah!